thank you for joining us in this event, the Ireland-Latvia Business Collaboration, Exploring New Opportunities. I want to thank each and every one of you to take the time from your busy schedules to joining us. So, and this is an event organized by the Enterprise Europe Network at Cork Chamber of Commerce and Investment and Development Agency of Latvia. My name is Monica Valdez, and I am with the Cork Chamber of Commerce, and I will be the moderator for today's event, as well as giving a small presentation. So just to give you a little bit of the structure for the event will begin with an hour and 25 minutes webinar where we will hear from different experts giving insights regarding the Latvian and Irish market trends and opportunities for collaborations. Afterwards, the second part of the event, we will open the floor to 3 selected companies from each country to do a 3-minute pitch about their companies, products, and any other important topics that they want to talk about as a way to showcase the different offers from each of the companies. Just some housekeeping rules. If you could please ensure to keep your mics off during the webinar. And once the panel is complete, we will encourage you to partake in our Q&A session. So please enter your questions into the chat box throughout the presentations, and we will try to get through as many as possible when we get to the Q&A session. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our first speaker of today, His Excellency Mr. Juris Stelmeisters, Ambassador of Latvia to Ireland, to share a few opening words.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Very good morning to all in Ireland, and also very good afternoon to my dear Latvians, the Latvian Investment Development Agency, and all the companies who have joined us today from Latvia. So tā kā labu dienu kolēģiem Latvijā. So it's really my true pleasure to join this online trade mission webinar with some opening remarks. And first of all, I would like to thank many thanks to the organizers, the Enterprise Europe Network, Cork Chamber, and Latvian Investment Development Agency for setting up this webinar. It's great that when you visit different parts of Ireland, and namely Cork in spring, and you have some follow-up activities, and this is one of those very concrete deliverables after also my visit. So thank you, Monica, for your also initiative and ideas, and I think the companies will appreciate this opportunity really to exchange the idea, to learn more about each other. No doubt we are like-minded countries, we are members of EU, but still we need to learn a lot about each other. I've been here for 3 years, and I still need to talk a lot about what we are doing in Latvia, what our strengths, what we can offer to the Irish people, Irish companies, and I think the same goes for the Irish who want to learn also more about Latvia, and Latvians who want to more learn about Ireland. I mentioned that we have a great political relations, a great cooperation at political level, but at the same time, one of our main priority also for the foreign ministry, foreign service, and me as an ambassador is to promote economic relations between our two countries, to support the companies who want to do business here in Ireland, to support the increased investment, and of course, for me, it's also great to see that really there is a dynamics in our trade relations. The trade is growing, both when it comes the export and import. Investments are also going up. So just to give the idea that 10 years back we had the mutual trade in services, which is now 10 times more than a decade ago. So it really demonstrates that being part of the EU, being part of the single market, there is also really great economic opportunities. And of course, we each know what our strongest sectors in Latvia. It's always also everything related to ICT, to the wood sector. Also, agri sector is strong, but also pharmacy is picking up other sectors. And of course, here in Ireland, it's I think the main impression that this is very much about the big tech companies, big pharma companies, but I think it's also vast opportunities for small and medium-sized enterprise. So it's not only the cooperation between the big companies, but also those who are offering their products and services also both to the big multinationals, but also to other small and medium-sized companies here in Ireland. So for this reason, I really want to stress that there is a need to also for our companies, and this is encouragement. The message I'm trying to deliver to the Latvian companies to come to Ireland to join the all kind of trade fairs. There is a very big farming plowing championship, the very famous one of the largest events. So I've seen number of companies from our region, Nordic, Baltic, but I want to see also more Latvian companies be present in those huge trade fairs when really most of the island meets not far from Dublin. The same goes also for some trade fairs, other specialized events, and of course the same goes for the Irish who want to more learn about Latvia. So to visit Latvia, we just had the Territory Forum, one of the major events when it comes to the 5G technologies, other important, and of course Latvia has something to offer to Irish companies. One thing I also wanted to mention is that connectivity. I think it's extremely important to have a good connectivity between two countries. Of course, we have a direct flights, but I think there is also the need for more flights between our countries, also to other parts of Ireland. This is also one of the things I'm promoting, to have also direct flights, not just to Dublin, but also to Cork, to Shannon, to maybe to Knock Airport. Again, it's also important for our community. And I think when Latvian companies think of the business in Ireland, I think they keep in mind also that there is a large Latvian diaspora. We reckon something between 20 and 30,000. So I think again, this is opportunity for our companies which are interested maybe to offer some products and services to the Latvians living here in Ireland. So my last point is that Ireland is growing, Latvia is growing. There is huge investments going on into infrastructure. I think that will be a big thing for both of our countries. There will be vast opportunities for the construction companies, for the ones involved in development of infrastructure. But yet again, there is also great opportunities in whole sector, and that would be my main message. Please be active, be proactive. If you need, reach out to the embassy, to the Latvian Investment Development Agency. We are ready. We are here to help you. And once again, thank you for organizing this event. I'm really looking forward to the fruitful discussions and presentations later. So thank you very much once again, and it's really a pleasure to see such a very practical events. Although online, we hope that someday there will be also some trade missions. But yeah, all the best for the rest of the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And yes, it was a pleasure to meet you back in spring. And this has been in the making since then. So we are very happy to be able to host this type of events and strengthen the collaborations between the two countries. So next, we will read a short message from Her Excellency, Miss Marcella Smith, Ambassador of Ireland to Latvia, who couldn't attend today but wanted to share a few remarks with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcella Smith, and I'm the Ambassador of Ireland to Latvia. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this online trade mission. Thank you to our friends and colleagues at the European Enterprise Network and the Cork Chamber of Commerce for organising today's event. I think it comes at a really important and exciting time for the Ireland and Latvia trade relationship. This is a relationship that has been deepening and growing year on year. And now, as Ireland is, according to the IMF, the world's fastest growing advanced economy, I think there are real opportunities for us to really strengthen and deepen that relationship. Ireland has an innovative and dynamic economy, just as Latvia does. And there are real opportunities for us in sectors such as the life sciences, in pharmaceuticals, in tech, and in fintech services, areas that I know both Ireland and Latvia are keen to grow and develop. And indeed, the recent visit by the Speaker of the SEMA also saw real opportunities within the space industry. So this is an exciting and dynamic time for us to look at exactly how we grow and develop our business relationships. And that's why I'm really delighted that you are participating in today's meeting. I'm sorry that I am not with you myself, but I am delighted that my colleague Alison Delan, Deputy Head of Mission here at the Embassy, is with you online to answer and help you with any questions that you may have, as is my colleague John Cosgrave, Head of our Enterprise Ireland office responsible for our relationship with Latvia. Between the two of them, they should have all of the answers to any of the questions that you may have. We both have really strong, dynamic, innovative, entrepreneurial people. And we're so fortunate that we have so many Latvians living in Ireland who are working hard to develop and showcase the very best of Latvia within Ireland. Now is the moment for us to take advantage of that and to look at how we can really grow the relationship for the mutual benefit of all. I wish you all really exciting and fruitful discussions today. Gurad Mila Mahagov.
Thank you so much. So, as we mentioned, the ambassador unfortunately cannot be here, but there is a representation from her deputy, Alison Dilani. So, we welcome her to this event. So, moving on with our agenda, I am going to be doing a little bit of a presentation so that you can understand what the Enterprise Europe Network is, how this came about, and how um, Ireland and Latvia came to think about this type of event. So there is just a small presentation that we have prepared. So the Enterprise Europe Network is the largest support network for innovative SMEs that have the ambitions to go internationally. So just to give you a little bit of our impact at glance, since the establishment of the network in 2008, we have helped around 260,000 companies every year. We have had a 97% of our clients rate our support as fast, efficient, and tailored. 83% of the clients stated that while expanding or looking to expand globally, they said that our help made it happen, or we were a key to that internationalization. 99% of our clients also recommend our network to others. So this is just not numbers, as you can see, but this is also companies that have had real growth with the help of the network. So just to give you a little bit of a sense of the scale of our network, we are a network of 581 organizations. We are spread around 53 countries, present in all EU regions and also outside the European territory. And the European Commission has funded around 182.5 million for the next 3 years of the contract so that we can help as many SMEs as possible. So this is just a little bit of a map so that you can have a sense of where we are present. As you can see, we are present in all in all 27 members of the EU, as well as some international markets as it is Canada, Japan, and Georgia. So for the network composition, sorry. I'm so sorry about this. It seems that some of the logos for this have been cut off. But if this is the network composition for Latvia, we have here colleagues from Investment and Development Agency of Latvia. They are one of the partners. So Vita, if you can help me with the other two partners that are involved in the Latvia network so that the companies present can also know who else can help them with their international ambitions.
Yes, in Latvia we have three organizations. So Investment and Development Agency of Latvia. So the second organization is Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Latvian Technology Center. So we are consortium with three organizations.
Thank you so much, Vita. As for the network composition of Ireland, we have 4 partners. We have the Enterprise Ireland, the local enterprise offices, Dublin Chamber, and Cork Chamber. So as you can see, we are both small consortiums. However, we do cover and we do help a lot of SMEs in our day-to-day meetings and work. So our network has an approach of 3 main things. The first thing is that we are client-centric, in which we place the client's need at the heart of what we do. We also give tailored services because we understand that each business is very different from each other. So we, depending on those needs that they have, is the guidance that we're going to give them. And also there is a network of expertise and international advisors that can help with resources and to help the businesses thrive. So the network has different key areas in which we focus mainly our guidance and our services. The first one, it is innovation, and this is more to help with businesses that want to be more innovative. Sustainability, because sustainability has been a very big talk through the last years. So we help SMEs go and have business models that are more sustainable. Resilience, because if there is something that COVID specifically taught us is that businesses can be hit very hard. So we help them prepare for future challenges. The EU single market, because we also understand that sometimes the legislation that comes from the European Commission can be a little bit of a challenge. So we help them navigate through that legislation, and also if they have any feedback in regards any of those policies and legislations, we also help them with that. Business partnering, which I think is one of the main things that we do, is that we connect companies and countries when they are looking for any specific partnerships, collaborations through B2B meetings, brokerage events, company missions, etc. Digitalization, because whether we like it or not, we are in the digital area. So is more to help them adapt to new digital tools that come into the market. Internationalization, which I think it is the main core of this network, because it is the way that we do it, that we connect businesses to new markets. And finally, access to finance, because the SMEs are the ones that struggle the most with funding or having streams of funds for their different projects or for their internationalization. So through the network, they are able to learn more about the types of funding and also which ones are available to them. So all in all, we are an open network that thrive in the coordination. We bring together and coordinate regional perspectives to provide better services to our clients. And we create synergies with regional, national, and European businesses to support better the SMEs. And obviously, cooperation is at the heart of everything that we do. So just to close up, I am leaving here the social media for both the Enterprise Europe Network in Latvia and the Enterprise Europe Network in Ireland so that you can follow them and you can also see any updates regarding upcoming events or any other of the supports that we have as a network. Also, by the end of this event, we will be sharing with you a list of contacts of our colleagues in both countries, so that if you have any questions or anything that you want to talk about in regards of the network, you know who to contact from each country. So thank you so much for listening to me. So we are moving on to the most exciting part of the webinar, which is the panel Emerging Opportunities. This panel will be moderated by my colleague Vita Leknian. And yes, so Vita.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome. I am pleased to introduce our panelists, and each of them are bringing a unique perspective. First panelist is John Cosgrave. He is overseas manager in the Enterprise Ireland Warsaw office, supporting Irish Enterprise Ireland client companies in their export journey into the region of Poland, the Baltics, and Ukraine markets. And John will introduce how Enterprise Ireland supports Irish companies overseas. Second speaker today is Faye Murphy. She is Regional Business Development Executive at Industrial Development Authority Ireland. And Faye will share insights on perspectives in the Irish market. And our third speaker today is Roland Blazurs. He is project manager in the Investment Promotion and Business Growth Department at the Investment and Development Agency of Latvia. And he will share insights on perspectives in the Latvian market. So please welcome John. You can share the presentation and tell us.
Good morning, everybody. Delighted to be here this morning, and thank you to everyone involved for giving me the opportunity to come along and to present Enterprise Ireland as our overseas manager here in the Warsaw office. So yeah, I suppose we in Warsaw, we have our remit is, first of all, I suppose the geographical sector is, as was mentioned, we look after Poland, the three Baltic states, and Ukraine markets. So I suppose just first of all, maybe to give you an idea of Enterprise Ireland, who we are and what we do. So Enterprise Ireland is the Irish government's enterprise development agency. So basically, we invest in, support the development of Irish-owned companies on their journey to achieving greater scale and to become global leaders in their field. So this obviously provides a platform for Ireland for strong economic growth and creating and sustaining jobs in communities throughout the country. So we have teams in Ireland. As you can see, we have 850 people altogether. So we have teams in Ireland and across our network of 42 international offices who help Irish companies to develop high growth strategies and to enter new markets with their innovative and sustainable solutions. So when it comes to companies, what type of companies, we're talking about really from startups to SMEs to global Irish companies. And we invest in these companies, providing funding, advisory and development supports, helping to drive world-class innovation from Ireland. So different types of funding that's available to these companies, different grants. It's quite varied and it's vast. So just to give you an idea, we're talking about R&D, digital transformation, AI, sustainability, capital funding, strategic consultancy, and many more. And just to mention, I suppose, because I think the LEO, some of the local enterprise offices were mentioned, and our companies, I suppose, when they start off as startups as such, they are within the local enterprise offices. And the criteria to become an Enterprise Ireland client company, as we call them, is basically to have potential of creating 10 jobs within that company and 1 million in sales within 3 years. So that just gives you an idea of how these companies become Enterprise Ireland client companies. So just to, I suppose, to talk about Ireland, first of all, we're headquartered in Dublin, and we have 12 regional offices as well throughout the country. So just, I suppose, the way it works in Ireland, so each Enterprise Ireland client company are assigned what we call a client advisor, and that's based on, I suppose, their stage of development, whether it be startup, established, or high growth. And then the different sector that they're in. So some of the different sectors, it's everything around manufacturing, from pharma to medical device to life science, agri-tech, cyber, education, engineering, high-tech construction. So it's quite varied. And then other specialists, I suppose, who work within the organization in Ireland to help clients achieve that growth are our technology advisors. So they work with companies and research institutions to develop innovation capability and commercialize research. On our overseas network, so we have teams of market advisors. So in my office here, we have 4 market advisors working directly with our client companies to help them win export sales in international markets. So I think I've mentioned the sectors. Just one thing to note also, because I'm talking about the export of our manufacturing and services companies, just to mention that everything around food and beverages is looked after one of our sister agencies called Board Bia. And then anything around foreign direct investment is looked after another sister agency called the IDA, who we'll hear from afterwards. So I suppose facts and figures, 42 offices, as I've mentioned, 850 staff. I think about 150 of them are based overseas. We are present in 24 countries. So I suppose also just some figures on our client portfolio. We have over a portfolio altogether of over 4,000 client companies, and this gives an export value of 35 billion altogether. So when it comes to direct investments, as I spoke about investments and grants earlier, Enterprise Ireland has made over 3,700 direct investments in Irish companies. So just to give you an idea of the figures, in 2024, we invested almost 28 million in Irish startups and supported 157 startup companies. 45 high potential startups that we supported were women-led, and 13 emerged from academic research. So when it comes to technology centers and gateways, you can see we have 26. So basically Enterprise Ireland, in partnership with the technological universities and institutes of technology, has set up a nationwide network of 26 of these technology gateways. So what do? Basically, they deliver technology solutions for Irish industry and their market needs. They're open access points for industries of all sizes, and they act as local access points to the wider resources in the Irish research ecosystem. I suppose they have a proven track record also of delivering for industry. And since 2013. There's been more than 8,500 industrial projects completed with a total value of 75 million. So just to maybe give you a small overview into when it comes to Latvia activities. So as I mentioned, this is Latvia is looked after by ourselves here in the Warsaw office. So just I suppose one of the things that comes to mind was last year. And before I mention this, I mean, I spoke about the offices and but really what we do, we have our team of market advisors where we give a whole one-to-one support around export strategies. We also organize events, so we're involved in a lot of events, and our Latvian ambassador to Ireland this morning touched on one of those events, which is the ploughing in Ireland. And the ploughing is, I know myself, because before I came to our office here in Warsaw, I looked after, as a market advisor, the agri-tech sector in France. And I've been to the ploughing with groups from France, and I know that groups have attended from our office here in Warsaw as well. And that huge sector being at the ploughing there. So I'm familiar with that show. So basically, we invite companies from overseas, potential partners, to visit those trade shows. So whether it be in the agri-tech space or all the different sectors that I've mentioned, that's something that we do on a regular basis. And one of those that happened recently was a cybersecurity event in Ireland, which was quite big, attended by 19 delegates and 18 EI cyber clients. And another thing that we do quite regularly, obviously St. Patrick's Day being our national event of the year. We had a visit last year or this year, should I say, excuse me, to Latvia with one of our ministers, Minister Smith, who is minister around everything around technology and AI, and the Irish ambassador to Latvia at the time, who the predecessor of the lady of Marcella Smith, who we just heard from. And they visited one of our client companies who have set up in Latvia, a company called Ocean Ore. So Ocean Ore manufacture eco-friendly and custom organic clothing. So that was, you can see one of the photos there down at the bottom of the screen, and that was a huge success. I suppose with the sectors, what we're seeing when it comes to Latvia, the top export sectors from our portfolios, everything around education and ed tech. A lot of Latvian students also going to Ireland to learn English. The consumer portfolio as well. Agri-tech, I think I've touched on already, and I'm familiar with that myself, as I said. And then material handling. We have some quite innovative companies around the material handling space who are quite present in the Latvian market. So I think they're the main sectors at the moment. But I coming into the region myself, I see great potential for other sectors, and Ambassador Smith touched on life science, obviously, which is huge in Ireland, and there are some other spaces that we're looking at to develop as well. So looking forward um, to continuing that growth, I think, between Ireland and Latvia. And that is, I think, more or less just giving you an idea of what we're doing in Enterprise Ireland in supporting that growth. So I've just come to the end of the presentation here, and maybe I can hand back, and then if there's any questions, I'd be delighted to answer them. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, John, for presentation. So we can move forward with Kay. Welcome, and you can share your presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I hope that's appearing okay there. Okay, great. Thank you everyone for inviting me to be part of this panel today. It's a real pleasure and honor to be here. My name is Faye Murphy and I work with IDA Ireland, who this organisation is Ireland's foreign direct investment agency. So we are a sister agency of Enterprise Ireland, and John has just given us the overview of that organisation. So if I just explain a little bit first, perhaps, about what IDA Ireland does. So we are a government agency, we're 100% government funded, and I suppose we are charged with attracting foreign direct investment into Ireland. So both new investments and then working with all of the investors who are currently here. So we have 10 regional offices across Ireland and 22 offices overseas. We were established 75 years ago, so we are a long-standing agency. We support over 1,800 IDA client companies across the island of Ireland. And while we refer to them as our client companies, it's important to note that we are a non-commercial agency. There's no commercial transaction between IDA and the companies that we work with. The 1,800 client companies support over 300,000 people in direct employment and a considerable number in indirect employment. And we have about, well, it says 350 staff, but at this point it's closer to 400. And I suppose the supports that we provide to the companies that we work with are very broad ranging. There are financial supports around, employment grants, green supports, R&D supports, talent development supports. But I suppose a huge part of what we do as well is kind of the softer supports and being a real partner for the companies that we work with on the journey. So non-financial supports can include, I suppose, bringing the company on the journey in terms of getting established in Ireland and, being the support for all of the weird and wonderful questions that companies will have along that way. We provide introductions to peer companies in Ireland who have walked a similar journey beforehand, I suppose, to share best practice and their learning experiences. And then introductions to the wider ecosystem in terms of important stakeholders that companies would meet on their journey here. So be that service providers like recruitment providers, legal services, etc., or indeed universities, local authorities, utility providers, etc. We also support companies very much so in terms of finding the right location for them within Ireland. So whether that's if they need a greenfield site to build a manufacturing operation, whether they're looking for a shared office space with other companies, or whether they're looking for private office space, we have a comprehensive property team to support with all of that. The vision and the purpose are there. The vision is to be the world's best investment promotion agency, and the purpose is to cultivate sustainable global FDI partnerships to deliver economic impact for Ireland. So just a little bit then about what FDI in Ireland looks like and Ireland's value proposition for FDI. So this is centred around, I suppose, three key themes, and that's people in place, stability and support, and ecosystem and environment. So just touching quickly on each of those. So we have a very diverse and high quality pool of talent here in Ireland. We very much focus on a partnership approach. Once a company lands in Ireland, we want to be a long-term partner for you. It's not just a case of get you in and say best of luck. We work with you, and I'll come to that a little bit later, that it's a very long-standing partnership is what we seek to achieve. The quality of life in Ireland is very good, which only enhances, I suppose, the availability of talent in the talent pipeline here. In terms of stability and support, there is a very competitive and attractive tax environment. Competitiveness, we rank highly for the return on investment once a company does decide to invest here. And we are a very business-friendly country with pro-enterprise regulations and very collaborative ecosystems. We have a strong track record in innovation excellence. In terms of connectivity, there are very comprehensive trade routes established, and Ireland is very well situated in terms of, we've a very optimal time zone to enable collaboration between US and indeed Asia Pac. And then in terms of sustainability, so we have the highest renewable energy generation potential in Europe, and supports IDA then as an investment agency, we have considerable supports, financial supports and otherwise available to support companies to reach their own environmental goals. This is, I suppose, just to show that I mentioned this earlier, that there's a very long-standing partnership between IDA Ireland and the multinational companies that locate here. So on the very left-hand side, there are a sample of companies that have been in Ireland for 10 years or more. So over half of our 1,800 client companies have been here for over 10 years. 1/3 of them have been here for over 20 years, and 1/5 of them have been here for over 30 years. And there are some very well recognized logos there on the screen in terms of the scale of what is here. Ireland, despite the share of Europe's population, you can see there that we make up just 0.9% of European population, but we punch quite well above our weight. So in terms of, I suppose, the share of FDI projects to Europe in 2023, Ireland would have won 4% of those, which is quite considerable considering the size of our population. And then just to touch briefly on the IDA Ireland strategy. So this was launched at the beginning of this year, and it's all around adapting intelligently. And I suppose that's very relevant considering the global kind of, economic situation that we're all operating in at the moment. So essentially how we look to support our client companies is, anything around digitalization, sustainability, research and development and innovation, and talent development. And what's driving that and what we aim to do is strengthen long-term investment, drive sustainable change, scale cutting edge innovation, and maximize regional opportunities. And that's very, very key. So our new strategy, we have a number of targets there on the left-hand side of the screen. So 1,000 investments in total, and 550 of those must be outside of Dublin, which would be our capital city. So essentially a 55% regional target to ensure that that every location in Ireland receives its fair share of foreign direct investment. So I'm conscious of time. That's it for me, but I look forward to expanding more about this in the panel discussion and answering any questions you may have.
Thank you, Faiz, for presentation and insights. And now we can move to Roland's presentation. Please welcome.
Yeah, hi. I just share my screen. One moment. And here we go. So it should be shared. My name is, as mentioned, Roland. I work for the Latvian Investment and Development Agency, and our prime function is to promote export, facilitate our companies to export, and of course attract investment. So very similar to the previous presentations, we have a lot in common. Let me just get my slides further. Right. Why Latvia? Well, we can see that also, like Ireland, you're a great country, but you're also a competitor of ours because you've got a fantastic environment. Obviously, you mentioned about the friendly environment for living, for business, and we can see that because you've got 20 to 30,000 of our citizens. So we're very grateful for that, but also this exchange of experience and possibilities of cooperation, it means it's huge. So I would say that the potential at this present time has not been used to its full capacity. Now, if we look at the access to the EU market from Latvia, also already the ambassador mentioned, it's our access points from Latvia. As you can see, 1 hour flight, 2 hour flight. I mean, we can reach Ireland in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So this is not a barrier for us to do business. And as you know, speed, connectivity, accessibility, very important. And like Ireland, like I said, we have many things in common. We're not a big country by population, 1.9 million, but we've got a very big heart. And this is exactly what we have to do as well. We are prominent in the world market, and we have to be because of our geographical position. Same, very interesting. It was very interesting listening to the previous presentations, because this is, of course, also our achievement, that we're one of the fastest growing FDI destinations in Europe. We're really pushing the limit. We have to, especially due to our geopolitical situation. And as you can see, we're really, really pushing to reach 26.3 billion euro in 2024. And as the Baltic Investment Agency was rated by Ernst & Young in 2025, we were ranked #1. So we're doing something right, you know. If we look over to the investment segment in Latvia, also we're reaching new heights. We can say that if we compare us to our neighbors, because of course we are colleagues, but also competitors, we can see for the first time that the investor segment across the Baltics, we've surpassed Estonia. We're scoring, on par with Lithuania. So we've got the strongest improvement in the region, but like all things, we always have a long way still to go. What matters most to investors and where we stand? Well, of course, it's very similar to Ireland. Quality of life, low energy costs, market size growth. And we see that the attractiveness of the country still remains very high, and investors believe that it will increase over the next 3 years. The competitive advantages, of course, are the tax requirements. If we look, let's say we give 0% tax on reinvested profit. Secondly, the special economic zones with 55% tax discount. Forest, we're one of the greenest EU countries. You mentioned previously about education. Yes, it's very important to our country that we have qualified and skilled workforce. So 82% of students are studying to higher education. And we have 95% of our population speak English, or at least 1 or 2 foreign languages. So these are all the prerequisites to attract investors to our country. Because Latvian, believe me, is nothing similar to English. And if we speak about the old Irish language, then it is nothing in comparison. So same as Ireland, we have to speak English, and that's very, very important. So at the moment, we are also dedicating 3.8 of GDP to our defense, but we're leading the way because we have to. Speed is very important, and we have to show our incentives, and we're targeting to reach 5% of GDP by 2026. So it's an ambitious statement, but we are going in that direction. So, and also the environment is such that you can these days establish a company, remotely 100%, not a problem. But for the focus and the industries that we're looking at and working on is the digital technologies, smart energy, manufacturing engineering, bioeconomy and life science, and defense. What does that mean? Well, I thought I had another slide there. Okay, we go to the next ones. Then we have really ambitious aims, because we want to make next year of attracting 1 billion investment. I saw the figures in Ireland. They are larger in different sectors, but for us, the growth, as you can see, from 2024, it was 655 million. We're climbing up to 1 billion in 2025. So a 52% increase. It shows our ambition that we have to grow. It's a huge challenge for us, but we're going in that right direction. By the the global innovators, we can see that if you want examples of investments, Aronis, who clean, inspect, do a lot of things with the wind turbines. They've raised over 62 million to maintain, and they are working worldwide in different countries. We are working with Norse, the aviation company, who've created a base, a headquarters in Riga. But of course, we're still working on new destinations for our traffic, for our airlines. But of course, in the worldwide situation, looking at air traffic, it is a challenge. Frankenburg Technologies, It's a new manufacturing R&D center. They're developing missiles and air defense systems. FinTech, we have a huge event every May called Deep Tech, which I would recommend you look at, and I would be welcome to invite a lot of companies from Ireland, because I see that IT, FinTech, ICT is very common for us both. And deep tech, photonics and things like this. We are working with space, providing different lenses and other components for the aeronautics going to space. So we're also looking at new avenues, and one, of course, is the artificial intelligence sector, where we've already established a national center for AI, but we're pushing further. We want to push limits and create a gigafactory for AI in Latvia. So we've got really ambitious projects where we see we have to embrace the AI technology, and the question is how you do it, in which means, in which technology. Right, stuck a little bit. Let's just wait. Move to the next slide. Okay. Let's go back one. Yeah. Okay, so that's, I think I've got into my 7 minutes. That would conclude my presentation moments. What else I can say about Ireland? I can see a lot of prospects and possibilities, because we have so much in common. You know, when you talk about working in an environment, it's also the human aspect. We have common culture, music, not even talking about drink. We both countries love their beer. So there's a lot of aspects which are the prerequisites for working in each country. So I can see this cooperation only growing over the next period. So I fully support the ambassador. It's good at the moment, but we can do a lot more. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Roland, and all panelists for valuable presentations. And I have 2 questions for each of you. So first will be for John. Are there any emerging trends in the Latvian economy that Irish companies should be aware of? And the second question is, what are the key challenges Irish business typically face when entering the Latvian market? Maybe you can comment on this.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Vita. Well, I suppose to answer your first question, first of all, and I think both ambassadors touched on this, with the trade between both countries, that huge increase in the last 10 years that we've seen. I suppose, first of all, we'd have to say, given its EU membership, Latvia is obviously influenced by EU policy and funding flows. So everything around clean energy, transition, digital economy, sustainable construction, big focus there. So Irish companies, I suppose, aligned with these trends may find opportunity. There are quite a number of Irish companies who are aligned with those trends. Also, the whole Baltic region is generally becoming more interconnected. And with supply chain shifts that we've seen over the last few years in Europe, post-pandemic, and then the geopolitical environment, I think there may be opportunities for different agile exporters, you know, offering, I suppose, niche solutions or services. And then I know, you know, and it's been, we'd have to talk about, you know, the whole Latvian government, and their, you know, actively supporting and promoting SME exports, and a whole, you know, from their side, and to push export readiness, but internationalization as well. So, yeah, there's been huge investment there on that side. So, but yeah, they'd be some of the main ones that we'd see at the moment, to answer your first question. And then the second one, you spoke about the challenges that maybe Irish businesses. So I suppose there's obviously always opportunities and challenges when it comes to every market. But I suppose one of the first ones that we from Enterprise Ireland, as advisors to our client companies, I suppose one of the first ones is a whole market understanding and localization. So, even within the EU, there's obviously the language, business culture, distribution channel differences, in saying that Latvia obviously being, very, I think it was 95% that was mentioned, English speakers, but there's always, maybe some of those things. And the importance of finding the right local partner, whether it be a distributor or otherwise, and getting a credible local sales or logistics support, logistics partner, sometimes can prove a challenge. There's the whole regulatory and compliance differences. So sometimes EU, even though although EU rules tend to apply broadly, there can be local interpretations and different taxation or supply chain complexities, or logistics infrastructure issues. Maybe scale and cost. I suppose a smaller market like Latvia may mean smaller volumes for companies if we compare it to other bigger markets. And sometimes that can make it harder to reach economies of scale. And then, yeah, I suppose you'd have to mention competition. Obviously, there can be some local competitors, and that can cause challenge. And I suppose the importance of making their proposition clearly differentiated and having that USP is key. Hopefully that answers those questions for you, Vita.
Yes, I think if someone from seminar will be more questions, but then we can do it in Q&A. So for Faye, I have a question. Faye, you mentioned that how Ireland continues to attract multinational investment. From your perspective, what opportunities exist for Latvian SMEs to integrate into the supply chains or partner networks of these larger companies operating in Ireland? Maybe you have comments on it. And the second question, where do you see the most potential for cross-border collaboration with Latvian businesses?
Thank you, Vita. So yes, Ireland has had great success in attracting multinational companies to locate here. But it can't be overstated the extent to which the multinationals rely on the SME sub-supply sector, whether they're Irish-owned SMEs or Latvian-owned SMEs. It's a very symbiotic relationship that we have between our global multinationals and the smaller SMEs. And it's important to note as well, actually, that many of the FDI companies that we work with would be SMEs in their own right. They wouldn't have, we'll say, the notoriety that some of the other companies that I mentioned on the screen earlier, the likes of Microsoft, LinkedIn, Salesforce, etc. There are many companies within our portfolio that would have a much smaller base here, some even as small as 5 or 10 people. I suppose we have created an ecosystem in which SMEs can thrive. And I guess some of the key opportunities for SMEs in terms of that sub-supply would be in, specialized manufacturing, the likes of components, packaging, precision engineering, and so on. We've mentioned already the very strong, I suppose, tech ecosystem that would exist in both companies. So the likes of software, cyber, data analytics, AI, and so on. And then finally, sustainability and green tech. There's a huge move. The green transition is very much alive in Ireland at the moment. And supports around renewable energy, waste management, circular economy, consultancy around green tech is hugely important for Irish companies. Companies located in Ireland at the moment. And in terms of cross-border collaboration potential, moving on to your second question, I think we've been given a really good flavour already from both my fellow panelists and also from our two ambassadors, that there is a lot of room for collaboration between Ireland and Latvia. Agri-tech really comes to mind. I guess, we're two countries with a very rich agricultural tradition, and food innovation as part of that. the space industry, the Irish ambassador mentioned earlier, is very much an emerging industry, and that's very true in Ireland as well. That's a space where we see considerable growth potential. Life sciences and medtech, two well-established sectors in both countries. The digital transformation, that's certainly an area for collaboration across the two. And then if we look at, maybe the talent side of things, in terms of education provision and talent mobility, we're very lucky that both countries have free movement of people across the European Union. So we should maybe look to see how we can leverage that in terms of skills development, perhaps internships for students, academic partnerships, and that's, I suppose, all to enhance the talent pipeline for both countries. And hugely impressive to see that that there's such a strong that the population in Latvia has such high proficiency in the English language. That is certainly something that I suppose those born and reared in Ireland possibly fall down on, is our ability to speak a second or third language apart from the Irish language, Gaeilge. And then there's potential for EU partnerships in terms of Horizon funding or innovation funding, where companies can co-apply. So yeah, funding mechanisms are well set up to cater for that kind of cross-border collaboration. And so I hope I've answered the questions, but look forward to taking any more from the floor as the discussion continues.
Thank you, Faye, for all answers. And two questions also for Roland. How would you describe the business environment in Latvia? Is it safe? What is your opinion? And also, how do you view the joint cooperation of the Baltic states and to each other, and also externally, collaboration with Ireland?
Most certainly, the environment is safe. We can see that the world safe, but we can see from the Foreign Investors Council analysis that investors are not shying away. We're seeing very good growth. Let me put a slide up here. Let's have a look at this one. We can see that in respect to safety and things, we can speak about different technologies. And the technologies always seem to develop when there is a crisis and a big need. For us, because we have the big bear next door, we don't know what's going to happen, and you can see what's happening in Ukraine. Of course, it makes us focus very much on the IT, on technology. And here you can see the first spy camera, which was invented back in 1920 by a Latvian. And underneath you can see a drone. And these are the developments which are necessary. But we must also remember that when we speak about these technologies and safety, we're not speaking just about the prospects of war, but we're speaking about dual use. So it was mentioned a few times about agriculture. So the same for the drones. The drones can serve the purpose of helping map out the agricultural fields, to do the plowing, other things, or to monitor. Same with the sea around your country or other countries, that they can help find people lost or do other activities. So very much we're in a dual use and time where different things can be developed. And I see a lot of cross-border growth possibilities with companies in Ireland, because, looking at the logos that Ireland has attracted, I mean, many of those companies are IT orientated. So that's one thing. Safe, definitely. We can't say today that it's the same as it was many years back. Today, we don't know what's going to be happening in the world, both in America or would it be in Russia. But we have to look after ourselves and be prepared for anything. But at the same time, develop things which can make other things useful. You mentioned working in space. Yes, our industry is really growing, and we can see fantastic new able startups developing through this need. You asked about also the cooperation between Baltic states. Well, I'll give you let's say if I've got that slide. I do have a slide I can show you. This is my take on, let me just get the slide up there. No, it's just gone out. One moment. Yeah, something went wrong. One moment, bear with me. Okay, we're back to screen one. Let me get to, right, let's go through the slides. So in respect to the cross-border cooperation, cooperation is very much needed, especially for small countries like the Baltic states. But today we are not just working with Lithuania or Estonia. We are, let's say, you have the Baltic countries. In other words, around the Baltic Sea, you have Sweden, you have Finland, you have Denmark. So all of these countries are now cooperating in different ways. And of course, like I mentioned about the technology, one of the key areas is defense and dual use. And I like to compare the Baltic states because in one respect we are colleagues and we work together, but on another hand, we are like this, we are like a hot dog. So what does that mean? It means that on the top you can see nice topping, and you always need a top. Estonia, that's Estonia. They like to be at the top. They're very loud in IT. They can achieve a lot. Yes. Underneath you see the foundations. I mean, you always need foundations because otherwise nothing will stand. But the meat, the tasty bits, the very best bit is in the middle, and that's Latvia. So that's how I position the countries. And in respect to that, when we were working towards renewing our independence, it was very, very important to work together. You maybe remember the Baltic Way, where the inhabitants of the 3 Baltic countries, to protest against occupation, made a big line of people. The chain started in Estonia, top of Estonia, went all the way down to Lithuania. And today we're at the same situation. We have NATO forces looking after all 3 Baltic countries. We have to work together to do different things because we can be more louder and more able. So cooperation in the Baltic states, I will say, it has become more competitive, yes, but also on the second hand, I would say that it is growing. We are seeing more and more cooperation between the Baltic states. And in cross-border cooperation, like I mentioned before, I think that technology is definitely an area where we'll see big growth, definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John, Faye, and Roland, for great presentations and discussion. So, Monica, we can go forward
Yes.
to Q&A session. Yes?
Yes. So first, thank you so much to all our speakers for their insights. It is very interesting to see in which areas Latvia and Ireland can cooperate and have so much in common. So, and thank you, Vita, for moderating the panel. So now we move on to our little section of Q&A. So we open the floor to our attendees. If they have any questions, to please post it in the chat box so that our speakers can answer your questions. So I have here a first one for Faye. So it's this question goes as, how does Ireland's relatively small domestic market still manage to attract so much global investment? I know that you have mentioned it before, but maybe you can expand a little bit in this regard.
Yes, absolutely. And it is a great question. Ireland is very lucky. We're in the very unique position that we have free movement of people across the European Union, but we are also the only country in the world to have free movement of people between Ireland and the UK. And that opens up a huge other pool of talent for us. And I suppose that the free movement of people between Ireland and the UK is going back to the peace agreement, or the Good Friday Agreement, that was signed in the 90s between Ireland and the UK. So that overrides the Brexit stipulations that have come in since that time. And not only that, but we have very business-friendly immigration policies to enable talent to move from elsewhere in the world into Ireland. And that's the support that IDA Ireland provides, as well as to support companies in applications for visas and work permits from those travelling from outside Europe and the UK. And, you know, I guess we have really borne the fruit of you know, being a member of the European Union and also European or the very friendly immigration policies, in that, you know, approximately 1 in 5 people that are now living in Ireland were born outside of Ireland. And that's because of, you know, things that I've already spoken about, like the quality of life and the access to education. And then you know, people can move here safe in the knowledge that if something doesn't work out with the job they have moved for, that there is a very diverse industry, whether that's in tech or finance or green economy or life sciences, that, you know, there's safety in securing additional or further employment if the initial employment doesn't work out. So I think that's, you know, the accessibility of talent is why companies have been so successful here.
Yeah, that is actually very interesting how the talent pool actually helps to attract that investment to such a small island. And I have another question here, and I think this goes more to John, but if you want to answer it also, Faye. It says, how do you see, and also Roland, I think that you can also contribute to this question. How do you see trade relations between Ireland and Latvia evolving in the next few years? So whoever wants to open up with that question.
Yeah, sure. I can take that. So I think, well, we touched on it earlier on, with all the different trends that we mentioned, and the growth that we've seen already over the last, over the last number of years. And we're seeing, definitely from an Ireland side to Latvia, we're seeing continuous development year on year for the Latvian market. So I think there's an awful lot of potential as well when it comes to AI. And I see a question in the chat there, but we'll get to it later. But everything around AI and sustainability, we're seeing those different topics, and companies investing more in them, and looking at regions, such as in the Baltics, and that's year on year growth. So I think it's only going to go in that direction, and based on the trends that I mentioned earlier on. Whether it be, everything around EU membership and the whole interconnection, and the investments as well from a Latvian perspective. I think, there's been huge, I think 13 million that was invested to support smaller companies in 2024. And it's just, yeah, all those different trends, I think, reflect on the whole growth that has happened and that's forecast in the next few years.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Roland, maybe you want to pop up in there.
Yeah, I can just comment. I think already John stated a lot of things. I mean, maybe some aspects which weren't mentioned. We do have very good trade relationship in respect to timber, wood. We have different products. I know that we have numerous window companies exporting and things like that, the food companies, pharma. But I think in this day and age, I think the emphasis will be on technology. I very much think that. And in this respect, I can see that another question that came in, exactly working both ways. The Latvian Investment Agency is a one-stop shop. Anybody from Ireland who wants to look at Latvia for any product, any cooperation, forming partnerships, we are available to consult, help. We have 24 international representatives, so we have also representative for Ireland, and 22 regional people. And I think the statement in respect to the access for flights is very important, because many people maybe sometimes shy away. I can see here as well, sometimes it's mentioned for John, the question was about Eastern Europe. Well, I'll tell you, we don't look ourselves as Eastern Europe. We are Northern Europe. And what I mentioned before, if you look at this Baltic pond or sea, you can see that all these countries around there, around the Baltic Sea, we are more northern than Europe, Eastern. And for that reason, I would invite anybody who with interest of doing business in Latvia. One is to touch base, of course. You have the embassy, you have LIA, but also to just come across for a long weekend, and you'll see how European and how open Latvians are. Of course, as John and previous presenters have mentioned, there are, of course, both countries have their system of constructing companies or forming partnerships, but that's not an issue. Come and visit us and we'll help. Same as Enterprise in Ireland.
Thank you so much, Roland. So we move on to the next question. So a little bit of context. It says Capiso is an Irish company building an ISO 27001 certified AI bookkeeping platform. We are exploring international partnerships for secure data processing and regulatory compliance. Given Latvia's growing tech ecosystem, what kinds of collaboration frameworks or incentives exist to support joint ventures between the Irish and the Latvian software as a service or fintech companies? So maybe Roland, you can.
I can, this is really a bit more out of my depth really to answer it fully, but by all means, this would be a sort of question you can always send to us and we will answer what kind of support we can give. But in partnerships, always the question is, what kind of partnership? If there's, we have different programs for supporting foreign investment. And in this respect, that we have like a green corridor to make things happen faster. We have different environments where you can set up. But of course, what it does do is by forming partnerships, it gives you access to more possibilities, funding or programs and things like that in the respective countries. So the framework by itself would have to look into the bookkeeping aspect. I'm not quite the expert on that field, but by all means, if it's an interest, send the question across and we will do our best to send you an answer.
Thank you so much, Roland. Yes, thank you very much for mentioning that. As I mentioned at the beginning, once we finish with this event, we are going to share the contact information from our speakers and also the Enterprise Europe Network colleagues from each country. So if you have any other questions or want to expand a little bit more in any of the topics that we have discussed today, you can, reach out to us. So I have a question for John. It says, as a scaling Irish company beginning to explore new markets, including Latvia and the broader Northern European Baltic regions, what advice would you offer for a company operating in EdTech space?
Yeah, thanks, Monica. Thanks, Patrick. So I suppose the first thing for a company looking for any space, first of all, is to understand the Latvian market context, to see how digitally advanced it is, see how EU aligned it is, I suppose, to education policy. And then looking at the government focus, I know that the Latvian Ministry of Education and Science is prioritizing digital transformation in schools and universities. There's the whole language advantage, English, as it was touched on earlier on, English proficiency is, quite high, especially in higher education and tech sectors. Yeah, I suppose the size of the market, price sensitivity as well are things that come to mind. And then I suppose a whole map of the EdTech landscape, looking at, the whole higher education system, whether it be teaching tools, assessment platforms, and the government and EU projects, market entry strategy, options, who to partner with, maybe partner with a Latvian education technology reseller or ICT integrator. There's, I suppose, some of the things that will come to mind, and those EU regional partnerships.
Thank you so much, John. And we have just one last question of someone asking for suggestions for good online networking events with Irish companies. They are especially interested to connect with other digital agencies that work with a B2C service, provided yes, they are a digital marketing agency from Latvia looking to establish cooperation with Irish agencies that have similar target client profile and complement each other's services. So if any of our speakers have any suggestions as online or even in person, just so that we have like a catalog of events in which, you know, companies as this one can also collaborate and connect with other companies in their sector. So I don't know if any of our speakers have any suggestions.
I, to be honest, I'm not sure about anything online. You know, I would imagine the European Enterprise Network would be a very strong resource in this particular scenario. But if of interest, I know that, you know, a very pillar kind of flagship, if you like, summit that happens in Ireland in person annually will be the Dublin Tech Summit, and it takes place over 3 days in Dublin. The next one is taking place in May 2026. But that might be one worth exploring coming over. It's very well attended by many companies across Ireland, not just in the tech sector, because I suppose every company nowadays has some sort of a technology element to it. So that could be one to consider.
Thank you, Faye.
Maybe I can just comment, but this is for both ways. Anybody looking for any cooperation in Latvia or in Ireland, the main thing is to send more focused information. Do some homework, that's number one, so that maybe you can pick out some interesting companies which would be similar, you think, to the target you're looking for. Second thing is, the more information we usually get about an interest, the more easier it is, because as soon as you contact any company about partnership, of course, the first questions is, who are they? What do they want? And so forth. So if you have this elementary initial information, it always helps a huge amount.
Thank you so much, Faye Rollins, and I think that we can conclude this little Q&A. Thank you so much for your insights. Very, very interesting, and it is actually really reassuring to see how Latvia and Ireland could continue collaborating in the next few years. So this is a good opportunity to keep opening the spaces so that both countries can continue with their with this type of conversations. So with this, we conclude the part of the webinar. So once again, thank you for our speakers. And now we come to the final part of our event, which are our pitching sessions. So just to remind the companies that have been selected for the pitching session, they only have 3 minutes to pitch. And they have slides that we are going to be sharing. So we are going to start with the companies representing Latvia. So Vita.
Yes, I will share presentation of company. So first company will be Voltify, and he will tell, representative will present. No, you can see, yes? Only here, Voltify.
So, hello everyone. My name is Arturs. I'm the founder of Voltify. Based in Riga, Latvia, Voltify specializes in high-quality electrical engineering and industrial automotive services. We deliver a complete range of service from custom electrical cabinet design, electrical installation of the cables and devices to assembly, to industrial production lines. Additionally, we can provide PLC programming, which is the heart of the industry. Our expertise covers PLC systems, pneumatics, electrical motors, and robotic arms, enabling us to create fully integrated, efficient, and reliable automation solutions tailored to each client needs. At Voltify, we combine technical excellence, precision, craftsmanship, and innovative thinking to help industries achieve smarter, safer, and more productive operations. Whether you need a full-scale automation setup or custom electrical installation, Voltify is your trusted partner for results that power performance. For example, I can mention we are making cable for one German company which produces sensors, industrial sensors. So locally here we're preparing wire. Basically, it's a cable with a plug, and every month we send a batch of these to German company so they can assemble together the complete product. So the potential business partners, what we're seeking for is industrial manufacturers, automation companies, system integrators, and engineering firms to collaborate on electrical and automation projects. So that's a short introduction. Thank you for your attention.
So next, Litex Riga, please. Welcome.
Hello.
Present yourself.
I hope that everybody hear me. I'm very happy to be a part of this conversation today. It's very interesting. Thank you. My name is Valentina de Prendergast, and I'm representing a sewing company, Litex Riga, as the chairwoman of the board and production director. Litex Riga is Latvian manufacturer of clothes that operation in the market for more than 32 years. During these years, we grew up very high in the professional skills and services that we're providing for the orders. All orders that we're producing for our customers are nearly 90% exported to Europe, Japan, and Scandinavia. We're producing ladies' and men's high-quality outerwear, and our orders are fashion and uniform coats, jackets, skirts, trousers, and other related garments. We're a team of experienced and professional specialists who care about every stage of manufacturing. We're operating with the customers by request for the type of work that they are looking for. The full process stage is to create the garment from the sketch, construct it to the first sample, improve it, grade, and input the production order into the sewing and finishing process, and then pack to be ready for delivering. We're developing our relationships with the customers on the base of trust and professional skills, and our advices are often taken into account by our customers. I would say that in high quality service and honesty that we're introducing to the produced garments on all stages of production. This is the point to keep our customers with us for so many years happy and satisfied. For example, one of our customers is Avoca Handweavers, Irish company. And where we start to work with them from 2001, and we are still cooperating now, and we have big plans for development for the next years. And other company that were producing ladies' kilts for Japanese market were together from 2015. In our production history, we have some interesting moments that we're very proud of it. For example, some years ago, Prince Charles and Camilla Parker, they visit Ireland with official visit, and were invited for the company Avoca Handweavers to the village where they have the weaving company, which is operating 300 years. And Camilla Parker, she like the coats that we create and produce, and she chooses like a present. And then the next stage that we receive a special order with her measurement, and we produced this code in our production flow, and it was real like a feeling of the pride and enjoyment. The other nice moment that we were working with the Finnish company and producing high standard ladies garments, and Princess Mary, now she is the queen, she just chose the suit that we produced, and she were to visit Finland with the official visit. Then at the moment, we are still developing more, and now we're operating with standard. We're operating now under ISO 9001 quality standard, and we're open to more opportunities to develop to us with the new clients and new orders. We're interested to find cooperative clients for bulk orders under their own brand for full production cycle, and we're also open for any other type of cooperation that can be good and will be like a grow for both partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Valentina, for pitch. And the next, welcome Antra from Printrest. I will share a slide.
Hi, my name is Antra Linata, and I represent Printrest, a Baltic graphic production company who is specializing in custom-made packaging. We are based in Riga, but we work pan-Baltic, and we provide the best services in the printing and graphic industry, what's available in the Baltic countries. So, and what we specialize is a custom-made packaging, which is very, very important right now when the market is changing, and we are focusing on eco-friendly custom-made packaging. So we've been working in already in the Scandinavian market for more than 10 years, and we have a team of experts working in printing and packaging industry, and we have many happy clients already in Scandinavia. But what we are looking for expanding, of course, our markets, and Ireland is one of our main target markets right now as well. So what we offer, we produce rigid bind boxes, we produce luxury packaging and premium packaging in-house. And we offer biodegradable solutions and cost-effective sustainable packaging solutions to our clients. And it's been very popular in the Scandinavia. And more and more our clients is turning to eco biodegradable and sustainable packaging. So this is we are here and experts in the Baltics who can offer you the best solutions. And as we are not far from you, we are quite close. As you already mentioned, the deliveries takes 2 days, and we have a very good logistic partners, as we've been working already in the Europe and UK markets and Scandinavia. So it's we can offer reliable deliveries. Plus, we offer as well in-house a complex hand packaging and logistics services. We've been handling projects like for Iceland Air, for Radisson hotel chains as well. And we've been very successful, and we had very happy clients. So what we are looking for in Ireland is, of course, other print and production distributors looking for reliable manufacturing partners in the Baltics. And of course, cost-effective solutions for the packaging. So you are welcome to contact me and look at our websites, what we do here. And if you have any questions, we are the partners here. And as Mr. Roland Belazarus mentioned the hot dog bit, so we are in the middle of the hot dog in Latvia. So we can offer solutions from Estonia and Lithuania as well. And as we've been working in this market for more than 10 years, we know what we can provide the best. So thank you.
Thank you, Ante, for our presentation. And now we can go forward to see Irish companies pitch.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vita, and thank you so much for our 3 Latvian companies. Very, very interesting and very different sectors. So it is interesting to see which kind of partnerships and collaborations you are looking for. So we move on to the Irish companies that have come here to do a little pitch. So I am going to be sharing the screen. Just give me one moment. So we'll see. Please share the screen.
Hello.
So we have our first company, which is Everywhere English, which is going to be presented by Becky Popova. So Becky.
Thank you, Monica. Before I get started, I'd just like to say thank you very much. It was really informative today. And also, Everywhere English has been through the Leo and Cork Chamber, and we've taken advantage of EEN and Enterprise Ireland as well. So if there's anybody on the call who would like a few questions from a founder's perspective, I'm more than happy to connect and answer any questions from my side. I hope that's okay. I'm just going to put my email into the chat. Yeah, so Everywhere English. We are an online work integration platform that helps international teams work better together. Okay, so we make communication smoother and international collaboration through the English language. What we offer is pretty straightforward. It is a job-specific English language training through both a platform and live lessons. So it's a bit of a blended learning strategy. We focus, what I mean by job specific is it's not just your general English. We are actually industry specific English. So we help with intermediate level employees to grow and excel with their company. This could be through branch to branch introduction communication, technical support, international sales like pitching and everything like that. And also logistics as well. So for example, a logistics manager is speaking with a German company, and miscommunication can lead to increased costs. This communication through Europe is normally done through English, so this is what we help with. So not only are we helping the employees, but we also help the employers as well through transparency, and this is through our HR dashboard. So unlike other providers, we do have clear transparency and can show an ROI on what we can do. And we can correlate with your KPIs as well. So what this means is that as the skills increase, we can also help maybe with increased outputs or for example, how many times you send a pitch deck back to your boss, right? Those kind of things we can definitely help with. Yeah, so that's kind of us in a nutshell. In terms of what we're looking for a partner, we do, I suppose, increase value to other B2B services. So for example, any HR tech or compliance or services out there, any learning and development models or workforce support. If you don't already have English language as part of your support, it's a great added value for your company. So we can definitely kind of help there in terms of a partnership to help with multilingual teams. So I think, yeah, that's about it. That's a quick overview, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, Becky. So we move on to our second Irish company, which is Snap. So Olga.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for inviting to take a part in this interesting event. So Snap Group. Snap Group is like a marketing center, and we offering a lot of different services for nationwide in Ireland. This is a franchise company, and first franchise was opened in Australia. Now Snap in Ireland has 17 different centers. So we're offering to our clients with print design, signage, promotional products, and digital content. We're working with really large, medium, small, and big companies like Apple, Dell, Amazon, and a lot of difference. Why this event is interesting for us? We would like, actually, when Latvian companies did their pitches, I think I already found the potential partners. So I'm looking really for packaging companies, providing boxes, tapes, packaging paper, and custom made. So I will be contacting Pinterest, and thank you so much for this opportunity. As well, we looking for partners as a apparel suppliers, different marketing agencies, what we can find collaboration services. So everyone is welcome to contact me or find more information in snap.ie website page. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Olga, and happy to see that we may have a potential partnership between one Latvian company and one Irish company. So that's what these spaces are all about. So we move on to our third and last Irish company, which is going to be doing a little bit of a different presentation. We have the company Paint, which is going to be presented by Janice and by Kia. So welcome.
So hi all. We have quite a twist because I'm Jānis. I'm from Paint Latvia office here in Riga, and I'm here together with my colleague from Paint Ireland, that's Kia Maurice. We're going to share both the stage. She herself, she's based in Cork, as the event is organized by Cork business community. Then we definitely need a person from Cork, and we have quite a route with Cork. Kia, I'd be ready to give you a stage.
Yeah. So about less than a year ago, I moved from London after 25 years over there to take on the role as country director of Paint and to help grow Paint here. Paint originated actually in Riga. Our owner and our CEO, though, Sam Lane-Coley, was born in Cork, in Blackrock. And he's part of the Lane family, which has a strong background here in Cork in business and obviously sporting communities nationwide. He founded Paint in 2014, and it's become a leading and trusted payment service provider throughout Europe and beyond. And we've offices in London, in New York, in Vilnius, in Estonia, in Vancouver, Ireland, and our headquarters has been in Riga for the past 11 years. And I really would welcome Your Excellency's comments on getting more flights to Latvia, because our global head of corporate finance actually lives in Cork as well. Yeah. And he spends 1 week here and 1 week in Riga, and he has to travel through 6-7 hours commute through Heathrow to get there. We've also had opportunity for an intern from the University of Limerick who came over for 6 months to work with our data team. We have a transition year student going over in February, so we're trying to build strong relationships between the two. Yeah. And likewise, I have someone coming over in January for 6 months to do an internship here in Ireland with us. But I'll leave Jānis kind of give you a bit more background about our...
Yeah, quick words around the Paint. So he already mentioned that payment is our religion. And basically Paint itself, we are omnichannel payment providers, starting from delivering the e-commerce payments by ending with like cash machines for small coffee shops in Cork, Dublin, or streets of Riga as well. So in both. Just to give you the insight or overall scale of Paint, last year we processed in payments 1 billion euros across Europe Union. Adding, let's say, North American companies, the number will increase to 3 billion euros approximately. So that's the scale Paint is delivering to markets, not only in Latvia or Ireland, but across whole Europe Union. And one of our current flagship products is tipping solution. Basically, it's you can pay the bill and leave the tip in one single transaction. And we do the split, so the tip goes directly from the machine to bank accounts of the staff members who is delivering the services in restaurants, bars, cafes. And that's why kind of one of our key focuses is not only the companies who is looking the payments, just the payments, but especially the hospitality and hair and beauty industries. And we have quite a proven track record in Cork itself. Yeah, if you could mention some names. Yeah.
We work like throughout Ireland. We're with like Michelin star restaurants, like Delir Street, Relay Chateau, like Ratsala. We've like Carlton Hotel, the Breen Brothers. In Cork, with them, we also have things like our famous Spice Genie, the food truck. I think he was on RTE winning some medals. We've got Ernest Cantillon, Sober Lane, Lemon Leaf Cafe. So we're kind of across the board from your high-end kind of multi-enterprise businesses down to smaller cafes and food trucks, assisting them navigate the recent tipping regulations that came into Ireland. And yeah, we're doing quite well. I think but we're always looking to open up the doors to new opportunities of networking with either larger enterprise groups or smaller facilities.
And I'm a bit keen to promote the Cork a bit more. And yesterday I had a chance to represent paint at Michelin Awards in Latvia. And I met the Hotel and Restaurant Association of Latvia, and they are members of HOTREC organization. That's a pan-European Union Hotel and Restaurant Organization. And she told me that Ireland next year is host of the HOTREC organization. And you can guess which city will be hosting the main HOTREC event. You can guess, guys?
Cork.
It's Cork. It's Cork. So yes, I've been in Cork myself. I've been many times in Ireland, and I travel there quite often. And I know what Sláinte means. Irish part definitely knows that saying. And yes, it's Cork itself, full of energy, small and cozy, but very welcoming. And yes, we do encourage to work closer between our countries, and we can both parties, we can gain awesome success. So yeah, we are happy to be here, and ping us on LinkedIn, Kia Morris, Janis Līcis, paint.com. Happy to continue conversation.
Yeah. And I would hope that Sam's story as in being a Cork boy and having a very successful business, built it in the Baltics, will encourage people to kind of to get their relations between the two countries going.
And I had to keep myself not to jump in the previous conversation about the fintech in Latvia. So you can ping me as well. I can give you insights, because we are proud members of Fintech Latvia, and we are traveling. We're joining the business travels with Leah representing the payments, and can give you a good insights in that area as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kia and Janis. It is actually really interesting. And when we received your registration and the little comment about the Cork-based company that has also presence in Latvia, we were keen to listen about your experience, especially Cork-based company. So thank you so much for that. And I think with this, we conclude this event. So thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you so much to our speakers for taking the time to sit here and give us interesting insights in both markets. Also, thank you so much to both embassies that also took the time for a very busy day to join us and to help us create more of these spaces to collaborate between companies. So thank you so much. We will be sending you a post email event with all the contact information and all the little bits and pieces so that we can continue these conversations. So thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, just to mention, if it is okay with you, we are going to record the event so that we can share it again with the people that were not able to make it to the event. I hope that that's okay with everyone. yes, we are going to send that link in a post email after the event has concluded. So let's see. I think we can let them in.
Yeah, I'll let them in there now.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi all.
Hello, good morning, and thank you for everyone that has joining us for this event. We will just give it a couple of minutes so that we can have more people joining us, and then we will be able to start. So it will just be a couple of minutes. I can see more people joining, so it will just be a couple of minutes so that we can start. Okay. Yeah, so good morning, everyone. Okay. Yeah, so good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this event, the Ireland-Latvia Business Collaboration.